Hello everyone and welcome to the iBMACS presentation, quick demonstration as to iBMACS, which stands for Insurance Brokers Management and Compliance Solution, and how it can help your business. So iBMACS is a web-based compliance solution accessed through your regular internet browser. I'm currently using Safari through a Mac, but obviously you can use Mozilla Firefox, Internet Explorer, or whatever your browsing preference is. The website address is iBMACS.com, that's iBMACS.com, and once you enter that into your internet browser's web address and hit return, you are presented with the screen that we've got here, which is just the provisional login screen that gives a bit of information about what iBMACS is, login details here in this section, and if you haven't already done so, the ability to sign up with some additional information, a brochure, why regulation is important, some testimonials, as well as a quick 3-minute video as to iBMACS, which can be found on YouTube. But for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to log in with an account that I've already got set up, which is just login details would be your email address and a password that you've got predefined. As I'm using Safari, this information that I've entered before is already stored, so I'm just going to click the log on button. And when you first log into iBMACS, you are presented with the screen that we've got here, which gives, in two very simple, easy to understand views, a compliance overview in a bar chart for broker management, regulation management, and client management, as well as a section on the right-hand side that details every area, as well as the current state of compliance. So whether that be red, amber, or green, green being compliant, amber being an almost non-compliant status, red being non-compliant. So navigation through iBMACS from this section here is very simple. You can hover over a bar chart which will tell you the total number of records within broker management or regulation management or client management, the number that are red, amber if there are any, green, so on and so forth. You can hover over the section on the right. So if I hover over something, it'll be telling me that there's records that are either, there's records that are contained within it that are red or green. So navigation is very simple. Within iBMACS, there's the typical drop-down menu. So broker management, you've got appointed representatives, business continuity plan, so on and so forth. There's your contents for regulation management, and there's your content for client management. So at any point in time, you can just click on one of those drop-down menus and navigate. You can also click through from one of these sections on here, so you could go straight through by clicking on one of those. Alternatively, you can click on one of the bar charts. So if I wanted to go through to broker management, and in doing this, it actually presents me with another bar chart, which gives a bit more detailed graphical representation as to each area within broker management. So here we've got appointed representatives, business continuity plans, going all the way across. And again, you've got the total number, the greens, the ambers, the reds, etc., etc. And then I can click on one of those bar charts, example appointed representatives, and that will take me through to the section for appointed representatives. Alternatively, if I just click on the iBMACS logo to take me back to the hub, as we call it, I can click through from the broker management drop-down menu, which will take me to, again, appointed representatives, or I can click through from anything on the right-hand side, so appointed representatives there again if I click on that. So you can see there the simplicity of the navigation and the numerous options that you've got. So when you click through to a section, you are presented with an overview, which is contained in this section here. It just gives a little bit of information. Now this is a bit of static content that will most likely not change on a regular basis. So the way that the system's set up is that we've got an expand out. So because obviously once you've read it once, you don't want to be seeing the content there all the time and then for having to scroll down for the functionality that's contained beneath. But if you click on the read more, you'll see everything that's contained in there, and again you can click on the read less and it will collapse it. So you've got that for every section, and on the right hand side you'll also have, or most likely have, some additional content. So this is static content or things that you can download, so it will give you guidance. So if I, for example, to click on this one, it gives you guidance on how to appoint an appointed representative. Again, it opens up in a slightly separate window that you can scroll up and down from, and you've also got the ability to print if you wish. There's also other things that you can do. So there's a Word document there. If I was to click on that, that would download a sample introducer appointed representative agreement for me to use. And in every section that has functionality has also got some red, amber, green notes. So these are bits of guidance as to why things that are contained within the areas of functionality that you create might be in a red, amber, or green status, but we'll come back to that in a short while. And then beneath that, you've then got a pie chart giving you an overview as to the total number of records, percentage-wise, in that section that are green, amber, and red. So here we have the area of functionality, and you can see there that there's a raft of records that have been created previously. In fact, you can see that it's currently only displaying 1 to 10 of 13 records. I can change that if I wanted to show 25 records per page, 50 records per page. So if I choose 50, what you'll see now is that every record contained there up to 50, there's only 13, are displayed. And obviously you can see from this, just by quickly looking, you can see the ones that are green and the ones that are red. If I wanted to do a filter from previously created records, I could just say, okay, click on status, let's click on red, and it will only show me the reds. Similarly, I could just say green, or I can go back to how it was before, which is all. Now, creating a record is very simple. All you do is you click on this little add record button. So if I go ahead and do that, a new window pops up asking to capture some data. So to do this, it's just a simple, click on a cell, enter the data. If you're unsure as to what's actually required from the cell that you're completing, there is some guidance tips. So you can see there that with this cell, it's the name of the appointed rep or introducer appointed rep. So if I was to put, say, Actress 1, if I've got FCA identifier, I'll just call that just so 456. Now, if I was to put something in incorrectly, what it will say to me is, okay, you've not met the conditions of that cell. So, for example, the FCA identifier is saying that has to be 6 characters. Where options are available, there'll be drop-down menus. So, is the legal entity of this appointed representative a sole trader, so on and so forth. So, I'm just going to choose limited company. Again, it's asking me a question. So, is it an appointed representative or an introducer appointed representative? When was the written agreement signed? So, I'm just going to choose a date. The date, no, so obviously it's going through. I'm just going through to demonstrate how this worked quickly. So the date that the introducer appointed representative or appointed representative started working for our company. So again, if I just click on that, calendar appears, so I can just click on a date. Similarly, when were the FCA notified of them starting? When were the FCA last notified? Termination date if applicable, FCA notified of that termination date, again if applicable, termination reason. Review date, so when did you review the appointed representative or introducer appointed representative? And then going on to, have we done things like a credit check? Have we looked at annual accounts? Does that have close links? Are they MyPro compliant, etc., etc.? When all that information's entered, you can just click on the Save button, and what will happen is that record will now appear after it's just done a quick little process. You will see that record appear here at the top. So currently the reason it's at the top is because we've got the column sorted by created. If I wanted to, I could click on sort by name, which will do it Z to A to Z. I can click on the FCA identifier, so that's high to low, low to high, etc., etc. So if I just go back to created, you can see the actress one there at the top is there. After a record's created, we've got the ability to click on view, which will just give you a screen to show everything about that information, that record that's there, that you've clicked on. So you can see there when it was created, the name, the FCA identifier, so on and so forth. Just click the little cross button to close that. If I wanted to change something within that record, I would just click on the edit button, go through, change whatever was needed, click on the save button, click on the cancel button if I decided I didn't want to save my changes, or similarly click on the little cross if I decided that I didn't want to save my changes. However, what I'll do is I'll go in and I'll edit the record. I'm just going to change the FCA identifier just to demonstrate something. So if I this time go 654321, click on the save button, that'll refresh, update that record. And the reason I've done that is to give us a demonstration there to see what we call an audit log. So this is the ability to capture, for every record, changes that are made to that record. So if I was to click on the audit log, you can see there my initial creation was on the 18th. That's the name, so on and so forth, all the data that was captured. So that bottom line is the initial capture. The next line is the capture for the change, in effect. So this will demonstrate any fields that have changed from the previous record. So you can see straight away there that that box is grayed out, and that was the element of the record that I changed. I changed the FCA identifier. If there were other things that were changed, they would also be displayed in grey. So this is a great tool to show systems and controls and the true audit log for any record that you create. So as time goes by, it's a great demonstration tool if the regulator was to come in and have a look at you, that you've got embedded for a long time systems and controls, and that you do take compliance seriously within your business. You've also got the ability to attach things to the record. So I could attach, if I had the signed agreement, I could just click on attach, click on add a file. It will then say, okay, where do you want to go to, so on and so forth, add a file that way. And I've also got the ability to delete the record if I wish. That all goes through and feeds through, and obviously once you've created a record, it will then show you whether it's in a green, amber or red status, which comes back to the red, amber, green notes for the section. So the record that I created there was green because of the conditions that I've met, which are all of these things here. If it was meeting any of these conditions, then it would have been amber, and then if it was meeting any of these conditions, for example, the review was more than 6 months ago, as a prime example, then there you go, the review date is more than 6 months old, it would have been a red record. So what we could do is I could go in and change that to a red record, but that's why these ones here are red. You can see that one there, created on the 4th of October 2013. And if I hover over it, it'll tell you that the review is the record is red because the review date is more than 6 months old. And I can do that for any record. So I can click on this one here. That there you go. My approved compliance is false. Go down. That's 6 months. That's 6 months as well. So you can hover over straight away and quickly see without even having to click through into the record as to why things might be red. So you've got the guidance there as well. So that record that I created would feed through to this main broker management record. So greens would have gone up by 1 because of that record I created. And you would do the same for anything that you entered. Capital resources requirement, you've got the ability to create records for an unincorporated firm or an incorporated firm. Client money will be something similar, but again, you've got client balance method, accruals method, and you've also got the annual client asset audit. So you've got the ability for tabs to go through and click on different sections there as well. Another good thing within iBMACS is the ability to, over time, see profiling. So we've got a thing called broker profiling, and if I was to click on that, this is basically going to show us a trend analysis of the business in terms of red, amber, green. If I click on the start date, go back to the earliest available date for this business. So let's go back to the 1st of May 2012. Choose the end date as today, and if I click on the submit button, what this will do is this will generate a line graph for us, which you'll see appear on the screen. And what this does is this shows us the state of compliance within the business over a period of time. So you can see currently 1st of June, we've got 82 green records, 24 red, 17 amber. And as time's gone by, you've seen that the greens have increased, that the reds have been generally higher, but over time have come down, and the ambers have as the software has been used, those records that might have been green have moved into an amber status for reviews, so on and so forth, have come about. I can at any point in time click on a year or a month, so I can go through to the 1st of September. If I do that, that will give me details as to what was contained within the graph as at the 1st of September 2013. And again, I can click through one more time and see, okay, there's the compliance status of broker management as at the 1st of September. I can navigate back to the home, to the previous graph by clicking the home button and clicking that again. You've got the ability to download these graphs or print the graphs. So a great tool to identify any trends that may happen in the business, be that over certain points in the year, certain quarters. over time. But ideally what you'd like to see is the greens staying up and the reds coming down or staying low. We've also got the ability to produce a compliance as at now report. So this is a report that will download into Excel. If I click on that, you probably won't see this happen because of the way that I've got the screen capturing working, but you'll see there that the Mac downloaded a document, and that's an Excel document that contains a tab for every single section where records have been entered, which is another great tool. So you could do that on a quarterly basis, a monthly basis, an annual basis if you wanted to, and it will capture at that point in time the status of compliance within your business. So it will show every record and its compliance status. It won't show you the audit trail for the records. It will just show you the status as at that point in time. Other tools we've got within the software, if I just click on the little home button to go back there, there's a little RSS feed there to things that might be happening in the insurance industry, which is linked to the Insurance Times website. And then you've got the ability to click on your account. So if you want to change your password, you can go in, change your password. It gives guidance as to what the password must contain. If you've got the admin rights, which I have, I can click on that, and I can go in there and I can change information about the business. So I can go in and, okay, there's my broker details. If I wanted to, I could click on amend. We've also got groups, which is whereby you can say, okay, I want to create a new group. So let's call it Group June 2014. Description, sample group. And this gives me the ability to say, okay, I want to create a group whereby people within that group have only got access to certain records. So I could say, okay, I only want them to have access to broker management, or I want them to have access to broker management and regulation management, or I want them to have access to everything. Or you could say, okay, I want them to have access to broker management, everything within broker management, apart from, I don't want them to see capital resources requirements. So I could specify that. Or similarly, I could say, okay, I only want them to have access to that section, capital resource requirement, and financial crime. If I do that, click update group, then that's what would happen. And I can then go in and create a user. So if I click on users, there's a list of previously created users, and if I click on add user, I can create a June 2014 comment. So you can see there that I've, out of my lack of wisdom, I've entered a username that is incorrect. So I'd have to enter that for that user to be there. I would have to actually enter a valid email address. But my point here is to show that I could actually go, okay, do you know what? I want to assign them to group 2014. And I can say, okay, I want them to also have roles of admin, which is the section that we've got access to here. Profiling, so they got the ability to look at the broker profiling, the line graph that we saw before, and reporting, which is the compliance as of now report. So I could do that, but obviously I'm not going to do that at this point in time, so I'm just going to close that and just return back to the main hub screen. The only other thing that's worth mentioning here is the fact that we've got a bit of info. So here is a little bit of a go-to resource, I guess, in terms of if you need some help, or if you'd like to provide some feedback, or if you want to get details on how iBMACS is going to develop over time, or indeed, the browser compatibility, what it works with, so on and so forth. But the help section is a good one-stop shop to go to in terms of if you're unsure of something or frequently asked questions, etc. Go here first, provides information, and it also provides a user guide which you can use yourself, distribute to your colleagues, so they can get a greater understanding of iBMACS and how to use it. So again, you can download that if you wish. So that's basically a very brief, quick demonstration of iBMACS, how the system works, and how it can help your business. I think you'll find that this bar chart here is a quick go-to resource in terms of, okay, I want to see how compliant we are at this point in time within the business. Go there, you can see, okay, total number of records. Ideally, you'd like to see everything green. You might want to see, there might be some reds, and obviously you can then look at distributing resources, planning how to best deal with changing those records from a red status to a green status. You also got the broker profiling, which is another great bit of management information for you, and obviously you've got the audit logs. So yep, that's iBMACS in a very quick thumbnail sketch, giving you details as to what it is, how it works, how to use it, and the information that you can get from it. I hope you found that useful. If you've got any questions, please get in contact with us. mccltd.co.uk. Contact details can be found on our website. And yes, look forward to hearing from you.